Oh my God, could we send him a Helical Brew hat? Like,
Oh
just
man,
send it to him
if I
and
get
see
like
if
two
he'll tune
seconds of
in.
that, exactly, that would be cool.
That would be cool.
Shrinkflation's real. The hamster's gone, and somehow Seth Rogen's involved. Welcome to Helical Brew.
Welcome to the Helical Brew. Here we are, Sura and I, on I don't know about down there, but it's pretty darn beautiful morning here. Although I'm keeping the blinds down so I don't get those weird casts. So you have your chair thing. I have the morning shade thing where you get
You can't help
bars of
that the
light.
sun just wants to glow on you, Mike.
Thank you so much. Well, I'll just leave it to the LED panels because they're doing a great job. Good job, LED panels. You know, we started with like no real home studios. Now we got like real deal home studios with a Mac and
Right? I was in an office with my iPhone.
exactly. And it's like we just pop on. I mean, I gotta say at Riverside, we finally figured you out. We just hop on, hit the record button, here we are, and it's great. So
It's
I'm like,
great.
why it took so long, I don't know, but it's just figuring stuff out.
So we've got a bunch of series going in parallel, which I think
We
is
do.
awesome. I've never seen like podcasts have so many things in parallel because we have the AI thought leaders that's going strong, and then we're building out this
Yeah.
automation in the wild, which is great because it brings some of our colleagues and old business acquaintances in to talk about automation deployment when you can't really control, what's going to happen or what the client wants at the last minute. So that's fun. And then we have the science means business, which is really like how do you make it so that science is serviced by automation, which is fun.
Now I'm super excited about the guests we have lined up and in those different areas. And this AI discussion has been absolutely amazing. So bravo for kicking that off, really. I mean, that was
Yeah,
like
I
we
really enjoyed the
that
conversation with Ingrid and like the alpha
that
fold
was
and all this stuff.
just those shorts you pulled out of the last one was just amazing. Like it was like spot on. I mean, all of them worked out great as shorts because there were some really important points brought up and most important, folks had fun. You know, not it's unique. I realize it is unique.
Can
You
I
know, for
say I always love when we pop the podcast cherry?
pop the podcast cherry.
They're always coming on and they're like, "This is my first podcast," and then they have so much fun.
Welcome to the podcast, and it was the Helical Brew that did it. It's
Take
on.
that, Seth Rogen.
That's right. That's right, Seth Rogen. Actually, funny you mentioned that. Guess who is showing up all over Modern Warfare right now because
Really?
he's they're promoting his new show, the one where it's like all these famous people on the show, right? He's got a thing for
Yeah.
famous people, and yeah, he's all dressed up in this colorful sports coat, and it's all about getting high and smoking weed and
Oh
all
my
that
God, could we
stuff.
send him a Helical Brew hat?
I
Like, just
man,
send it to him
if I
and
get
see
like
if
two
he'll tune
seconds of
in.
that, exactly, that would be cool.
That would be cool.
Two Seths I would love to get, Seth Green and Seth Rogen. If we
Oh,
could get
Seth
a
Green, yeah.
get a shout out from Seth Green. Oh
I mean,
man,
while we're at it, Seth
Robot
MacFarlane, let's
Chicken,
go. Let's
and
just get
I'll get all
everybody.
three of them. Hey Stewie, what are you doing? I can do my best. I can do my best, Seth, but he's
Let's
so
find an
good.
address. I'm gonna send him a hat. Let's do it.
All right, we're gonna. It's probably gonna be some agent or something like that, but we can do it. We can do it. We just have to go hang out on Sunset Boulevard.
Let's do it.
Here we go, bro.
If not him, Conan O'Brien supposedly walks up and down all the
Conan,
time. We should just
we
give
love
him a
you,
hat.
man. We feel for you. You know, you got
Dude,
kicked
did
off
you
the
see
Tonight
his
Show.
opening in the Oscars? That was creepy. Him and Demi Moore.
Oh, I didn't even watch that. Oh,
Oh, it was so creepy. She's like climbed out of her. It was so weird. I wonder, as like an industry professional sitting there watching this, do you just go like, "What the hell? Like,
I
who
mean,
picked this?"
why do you guys always have to experiment on a very simple show?
Just open the Oscar.
I know, just open the envelope. Don't do what what's his name Warren Beatty did, and open the wrong fucking thing.
Oh, he did? Tell me about that. I don't know that.
Oh, that was the one where it was a few years ago. La La Land and
Yeah, I
another movie.
remember La La Land and yeah. And he called out the wrong one, right?
What I mean, he got the wrong information too, so it wasn't like his, it wasn't necessarily his fault, but I mean, it was the way it read, and he, the wrong people came up. It's like, oh, No, it's the other one. I, I mean, the Will Smith slap was also, it also had that look, when you turn to the crowd and you look at the audience, like, they've always been a weird couple. That's always been yeah, that's
I
just
mean,
strange.
to be fair, like Tupac was awesome. But girl, you got Will Smith. Like, enjoy the ride, Like you're
The guy,
winning both ways.
the guy was slanging crappy rap songs in the 80s, and now he's like, a top star. I mean,
Yeah,
he's,
tall, talented. Like, what are you complaining about?
or just go back to spinning records, Come on. I mean, he could be doing that. Come on, girl. What's up? Jeez. Here's the microphone. Hammer time. We're not dropping a needle. We're dropping a hammer here on Helical Brew. Yeah, well, that was Oscars somehow can never escape without some sort of thing in the last 15 years. It seems like every single one of them made the headlines the next day for reasons other than who won Best Actor and Best Actress.
I heard Adam, is it? No, Adrian Brody, his Oscar speech just kept going and going. And then he showed up the next week at Paris Fashion Week for the Lacoste like thing. And he was
Yeah,
like rude to the Chinese entertainer that I like really like. And I was just like, dude, you just won an Oscar. They just made you ambassador. Sit back down,
right. Why? What is the deal? What is the deal? Yeah, I don't know. People
I've
just
had too
can't.
much coffee. Hammer time's just flying.
I haven't had enough. I'm like, I'm barely, I'm barely going this morning. I don't know what it was. I woke up pretty tired, but it's okay. The Helical Brew will always wake you up. Just record and we're good to go.
We'll
So we got
start
a
it.
lot of series coming up. There's a lot of events coming up as well. I'm heading off to SLAS Europe in Hamburg. And then following that, there's going to be Future Labs Live in Basel for those who are going to be traveling around Europe.
Yeah, the
Things are
problem is like I like my kid and my dogs very, very much.
so there
I'd
are
like to take
those.
them with me.
Yeah, I do know a couple people over the years who have actually traveled with pets, but it's tough.
I heard internationally it's really hard.
Oh god. Oh, there's a whole like department at the airport just for dealing with pets that
Hmm.
are coming from another country, doesn't have the right shots, all that stuff. Yeah, it's not practical, but
But I just
even a
recently
small
got
pet.
these two puppies, right? And one of them is my
Yes.
soulmate. So it's really
So
hard to
wasn't
leave
originally
them.
supposed to be okay. So one is your soulmate, but wasn't originally just supposed to be one, and you kind of
Yeah, so my daughter
stumbled into a second.
volunteered at this adoption thing that we ran through at the farmers market randomly, and I ended up adopting one and fostering the other one. But I don't know if you know me. I can't really
I do
like
know you. I wasn't shocked that you ended up with two, but I mean it was originally
I called her
one.
and I was like, I'm a foster fail. I'm not returning this dog to you.
I mean, somebody could have had that dog, sir. It could have been
But
somebody else's
she's
dog.
mine now. She's mine now.
You're like, but she's not, and that's not going to change.
Yeah, so now I have three dogs, one cat. The hamster passed away. I cried for 2 weeks. And then the fish also passed away.
How long ago did that happen? How long ago was the hamster?
The beginning of the year. But it was so cute and it would sit on my shoulder and we would like cuddle.
Yeah. Well, did the hamster and the cat have issues sometimes?
No, because they're in like an enclosure, and so really you only worry about the cat sitting like on top and
Yeah,
maybe, bending
like
it.
trying to get in there and
Yeah. We definitely challenge our cat, right? Because we had the hamster, we've had the fish, now we have dogs. So the
oh
poor
right,
thing is just like, I hate you people.
seeing that fish.
Yeah, and then they would try to stick like their paw in there.
I could just see the cat like this, touch.
It's an Animal Planet around here.
I watched a bit with Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger doing a little bit for, I don't know, like TikTok or Instagram, something like that. Or it was on Facebook, but scrolling through and Sylvester Stallone's just like, how do you, because he's got these miniature horses. Arnold does. Two of them. Whiskey. One of them's whiskey and the other one's
Rocks. Skin the rocks.
I can't remember. And these two come in and Sylvester Stallone's just looking at it like, how in the heck how do you bring them into your house, man? What if they poop? He's like, well, Arnold's like, well, you get the scooper and you pick up some poop, yeah.
The thing about horses, this is just hay. So even if they poop, it's like,
Oh yeah, he's
okay.
feeding them too. There's hay all over. Like he's on the computer, and there's like hay all over the floor.
Oh, wow.
You know, like, what does he care, right? He can have a whole section of the house where it's him and the horses, and he can have a whole section of the house where it's not him and the horses.
Right,
Doesn't
but
matter.
he's married to a Kennedy, right? So you're just imagining like a Kennedy
Arnold's
with
not
like
married anymore.
horseshoes on the floor.
They're divorced.
Are they?
Yeah, yeah.
Divorce just happens here. No other country do I know that so much divorce happens. Like every other country, people try to like actually like get married for life, which is why it's very difficult to get serious about anyone in the United States because you know they're just thinking about moving on, you know?
Yeah, it's a different mindset. It came from the same place, but one part of the world is in a different mindset than the others. Some could say it's capitalism. Capitalism made its way into relationships, you know?
I don't know. It's like on one hand, like life is short and you do you and enjoy it to the fullest. And on the other hand, like, I don't know, there's something to be said, right? With like making a promise and keeping it.
Right. I think there's certain elements like that don't fit. Like there's certain aspects of life, day-to-day life, the life in the modern society we live in, right? Working, all that, money, house. You know, there's just certain elements that just don't fit within the relationship side of things. But it seems to be like in television, it's projected as such a high priority. I mean, think about like television
But there's a
advertising, right?
dissidence, right? Like it doesn't match how we actually run. Like we sell this theory on television in the US that's impossible to have in real life. I don't know anyone that's actually like stayed together except for Jeff for like that long.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a certain degree of pessimism around that messaging. Okay, we're gonna go deep tracks. All right. I think I might have mentioned this on the podcast before, but there's a great movie that's exactly on this whole topic. Well, not exactly, not necessarily relationships, but just the whole kind of cadence of society and the hidden messaging. It's a movie called They Live. It was by Carpenter, and it's one of the long lost, kind of Hollywood left, classics,
Sounds like a
and
sci-fi horror.
it is sci-fi, and
Uh,
it is great. They
they
Live,
live.
and it is about basically there's like, a sound that's being projected into the world where it's keeping people from seeing the real message behind every billboard. So when he puts these glasses on, all of a sudden he can see through the fuzz, right? And it says, go on a vacation with your family, and then he puts the glasses on. It says, marry and procreate.
So it's subliminal messaging.
Yeah, yeah, right. And then there's one about like banking. It's like, or a bank. It's like, spend more. It's like all these hidden messages. And then when you look around to the people, some people look like aliens, and they are aliens, but they're hidden among us, right? They live.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Carpenter movie. It was deep. And it had the lead actor was not an actor. It was a wrestler from the 80s. Roddy Piper. Roddy Piper.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to
So
check that out. I've been
it, it-
on the rewatching The Walking Dead kick because my daughter wants to watch it now, so
okay.
I've been rewatching it.
That's a commitment. I struggle to like rewatch for somebody's benefit, but I mean that's tough.
I mean, it's a pretty good show. It's just more
Yeah.
like because she's interested in like zombies all of a sudden, so I kind of want to be there for that experience to
Well,
explain
They
things.
Live is perfect. Yeah, They Live is great. That's a
And she's like, "Mommy, is this why you have a machete?" I was like, "Mommy's a martial artist. She has a lot of weapons."
Where'd you find that?
But I
Mommy
have to
has a
explain how
machete.
you want some range, and a machete is too close of a range for a zombie.
Yeah, you need some range. Absolutely. That's right. Well, if she's really into zombies, there's no better zombie game than Modern Warfare Black Ops 6 Zombie Mode.
Yeah, I told her that. I was like, "You got to play this game with me."
Put the surround sound headphones on. You'll be freaked out for days.
Yeah, I used to play with some people that I used to play that mobile game with, and like I would have the headset on, and it would just be snarling in your ear. And I'm like looking around, like, "Oh my God."
Peeling back the wood from, or yeah.
Have the sounds gotten worse with the new versions of Modern Warfare?
Well, since I have a set of headphones that does Dolby Atmos, yeah, I mean it's definitely way cooler because if they're coming from right behind me, I can hear that. If they're from, 45 degrees, whatever, they've got the directionality of the
Yeah.
sound dialed
That
in.
sound is so important to that game, I find, because you can even hear like footsteps. Like you can hear steps on like glass. And you're
Yeah.
just like, oh, like they make it really realistic.
Oh, I had an awesome, like, what do they call that? A hat trick yesterday, where I hear this like, and somebody jumping off the stairs in the map, and I switch to the pistol and just turn around, and bam, right out of the air.
Ooh,
Well, anyway,
yeah.
download it, and then you can hop on a game, and you can see the stream. You can actually PS4. They can all record. They all
Mhm,
record 1080. So
mhm.
it's amazing. Like that used to be like a big thing. If you wanted to stream a game, it was like this crazy rig. And now Best Buy sells a little box that fits on your desk for $200, and you've got a streaming deck right there.
But now everything is 4K. Like you have to record in 4K.
Yeah. Well, you can do that on PS5.
Mm.
Not available on PS4. Sorry.
There's also some Elric events coming up, right? Elizabeth was telling us.
Right. So at the beginning of June, there will be one in Vancouver. So for folks that are keen on that. Also, I won't be in town for anyone that happens to be in Reno. At the 21st. So the 21st Reno Lab Automation meetup will be held. It's going to be held at
Drink a beer for Mike.
Parlay 7. Yeah, right. Well, we'll be doing it. So I believe that is the same day as the Molecular Devices sponsored. Show is not sponsored by Molecular Devices. We'd be open to it.
They can, yeah. You can call us.
No. But they are the sponsor of this year's rooftop extravaganza. It's, the bookend to the SLAS Europe show. There's a little party they have. So we'll be raising a glass one way or the other for that. Anything else going on in San Diego? I haven't heard much actually about San Diego.
I haven't either.
There was a gathering in San Francisco.
Mhm. The lab automators.
Lab automators, yeah.
You know what's interesting though is like the tickets went really fast, and I feel like people discovered it late and then
Yeah.
could not attend. So I would just put this as a public service announcement that maybe we can, try for a different venue where people don't have to get like kind of cornered out of the ticketing. Because if you don't know about it enough time to get it, then you're kind of screwed, right?
Yeah, I mean, they also put like a freebie, like a giveaway thing on it, right? I think first 50 people got a Yeti thing.
I want to do that for this show because we need to get to 500 subscribers, everyone. And it'd be nice to have like a giveaway. We don't want to call it a giveaway. Maybe we can call it contest. I don't know. What can we call it to not be subject to California regulations?
Thank you, State of California, for making this extraordinarily complicated.
Yeah.
I just want to give something away. Sorry.
We'll make it, I don't know, contest? Does that not have enough stuff around it?
I mean, you always have to have this rules and regulations thing, always a fine print thing.
Okay.
Everything I've ever signed up for.
We'll think about it, but if you subscribe, I will have ability to send you something. So maybe that'll be something. Yeah, subscribe, and then I'll reach out and be like, hey, you've won this. I don't know.
And that's
First 100.
That something could be. Here we go. This could work. Actually, why don't you know what? From now on, we're just going to do it that way. That could actually work in its own weird way.
I do like your mic though.
This thing here.
I like that the best. It's both of those hats are my favorite. I'm always wearing them.
That's yeah.
I'm gonna get us tumblers next.
One's going to get a lot more use because.
Yeah, because it'll be around you. Although I don't know, Hamburg. You're gonna wear one of them, right?
Yeah, probably. This is a little more Hamburg, I think, style. A ball cap like this, I mean...
San Diego style.
In Germany, they just look at you like, what is this American doing? What is this?
To be fair, they're probably right now saying, what is this American doing about everything we do? So...
Yeah, right. I'm sure. What are you doing over there? Not cool. Yeah.
Not cool.
This will be my first trip this year to Europe. So since January, it'd be interesting to
Yeah.
get the feeling, especially
My
like,
mom is talking about traveling abroad. I'm like, please don't.
oh, don't even get me started. Yeah. How long does it take to get, what's the connection?
Yeah, I don't know. I know when I was younger, it was like a 14-hour flight,
Yeah.
which is great because coming from an ethnic family, you don't really eat a bunch of different foods, you know? So I was like all about the airplane food, like the jam and the bread, that blew my mind. I was like, oh,
Wow. Wow.
butter,
Yeah.
jam, and bread? This is amazing.
Yeah. You see, I don't think, I mean, because they, airplane food is sort of, no matter where the airline is from, it's all pretty much the same, in terms of like, they have to have stuff that can be stored on an airplane, can survive the flight, right? They're going to do, the first meal doesn't have to be refrigerated that long, but the second meal does. So they got to it's got to be able to heat it up. Yeah. It's a pain in the butt.
But at least they have options, right? Like we always order like halal, right? So at least
Yeah,
like there's options.
that's true. That's true. This is the first time, like, since, the airlines have had a significant decline. And I mean, I had some flights in the US and I didn't really notice much, but, the international flight has decreased significantly. So they've cut flights and all that. And they're also now charging, I can't believe this, premium economy, right? You figure that's, you're getting a little more head, a little more leg room. You're paying a bit more. Now you have to pay to get a seat.
Whoa.
So you have to get a seat reservation is no longer included.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, and this is the most stubborn airline in the world in terms of stuff like that. That's Lufthansa. They are.
I was gonna say Lufthansa is usually really great.
Yeah. So now they are literally nickel and diming for if you want to select a seat. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But that's the state of the industry in general.
Maybe it's just for Americans. There's a
Oh,
portal. If IP addresses come from here, you have to pay for your seat because we don't want you on the flight.
I guarantee you that will be one of those, hey, Mike, what's going on conversations at SLAS. And it'll be some of my old German friends and colleagues. And I'll be like, hey, guys, yeah, it's okay. And I'll tell them the story about how I paid for a premium economy seat. And then I'm just waiting for one of my German colleagues to look at me like, we don't pay that. And I'll be like, there we go. No, yeah. No, they literally sent an email. Oh, by the way, your seat's not included. I'm like, they didn't say that up front. They actually just sent that as a follow-up email. Maybe they changed the policy since I booked the ticket.
Mid-booking, yeah. I wonder.
Yeah.
Well, tell me how it goes, and then I'll see if I want to deal with that to fly places.
Yeah, right. Well, that's yet another reason not to go on a trip, right? Let's see, what else is going on? I guess...
Have the tariffs affected the robot parts at all? Are they more expensive?
Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of companies are going out and doing surcharges. So it's just based on the tariffs that are computed on things that you get in that are imported for the product to be built in the US, right? It's not the tariff that's going to be reciprocal, perhaps. Let's say you export the robot from somewhere else. That's something we don't have control of. But I mean, so there's the tariff on the parts for the robot. Those are being included, right? That's coming up. But and a lot. But
at least it's all equal because whatever vendor you are, there's some sort of surcharge now that has to be included. You know.
I just like the approach we took was it's compartmentalized. So it has its own line. It's not something that is it's not like being integrated. Like, for example, during COVID, like a year in, remember when prices started to really crank up?
Yeah, Elizabeth mentioned that, how things got higher in price and never went lower again.
I mean, you had basically just pure inflation. You had shrinkflation on top of that. And the shrinkflation was, they kept both, right? They didn't even change. I had a box of oatmeal, one from 2 years old, one new. I mean, the oatmeal lasts forever, right? So, but I'm looking at it. It's the same exact box size. The volume is identical, except it's 4 ounces lighter, the new one. Same price.
Oh.
That's shrinkflation. And all they did was they edited the number at the bottom of the box to say how many ounces it was.
That's that's not cool.
Yeah. So they'll leave the price the same, shrinkflate it, or they'll just jack the price up. But when you put it as a separate line item, you can take it away, right? It just goes away. So I think that, It's part of the game, right? How long it lasts.
Capitalism at its best.
That's right. That's right. So, uh, temporary tariffs and temporary relationships.
The subject of this week's podcast.
Life is pretty temporary. It's sort of a rekindling of Matthew Broderick's phrase, quote in what his character's quote in Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Mm. I think it's just, once upon a time I got told this story and it's just stuck with me. I think I shared it with you, right? How, the Buddhists create these masterful works of art that's just intricate and detailed and complex using colored sand, right? It's meditative. How do you say that word?
Meditative?
Meditative, right? And after spending months on creating this work of art, at the end, they will meditate and then completely wipe it off. And that's to signify that everything in life is impermanent, right?
Yeah.
And then they just start over again. And that kind of like blew my mind because I think, we focus so much, and we were talking about this earlier, about our egos and our like connection to things and our inability to kind of let go of something that needs to get let go, forgetting all the while that the only thing true in life is the impermanence of things, right? Even people, we're not going to be here forever either,
Life's pretty temporary. If you don't stop and look around every once in a while, you'll miss it.
Yeah, which is why I think I have so many interests and hobbies, because you gotta try everything before, you move on and go back into the cycle or whatever you believe.
There's two ways to approach it, though. You can have a lot of hobbies. You can, dabble. I mean, but there's some things also you really want to do a deep dive on. I think I tend to be a bit like that. I think I'm more on the deep dive and less on the, quantity.
I'm deep diving on the whole parent thing, so I think I've got that part covered.
That one doesn't count. That was included.
What are you deep diving on?
Podcasting.
Oh. If you'd like to be on the Helical Brew and be part of these stimulating conversations, reach out at helicalbrew@gmail.com.
At gmail.com.
Have we gotten anyone emailing us?
I haven't checked the inbox in a while.
I was going to say, you need to check it.
Oops. Well, it should I thought I had it on a forward, though, to my main inbox. So our YouTube account's the same.
So email us and subscribe, and you'll get a cool hat.
Smash the like button, ring the bell, and email us.
I was on my daughter's horse YouTube account, and she has so many subscribers. I'm so jealous.
How many? Are we talking
It's
tens
like a
of thousands?
shared account between 4 of them from the barn, and they have like 565 subscribers, but they get like on average 14,000 views. So
pretty good.
Maybe we should be doing this podcast on horses.
I don't know. There's nothing wrong with having a horse on the podcast. We could have another panel, another video here.
Yeah. I'll stream my horse from the barn, and he'll just sit in a third like square.
This is not a rekindling of Mr. Ed, okay? I mean, a horse, yeah. I get along great with horses. I think they're... My dad, not some when he was alive, not so much. He was not a. They like
they're
look at each other.
They're just like big dogs.
Yeah, yeah. So what was it in Sherlock Holmes movie with Robert Downey Jr.? He's like, I don't want to be writing something with such a big brain or something like that.
He really did well in those movies. I thought
Sherlock?
He was a perfect, you never would have, you think, hey, this guy's not gonna, he's in a different genre. I can't see him in this, but he did
He's
so
Iron
well.
Man, for crying out
so
loud.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. It was the same in the Oppenheimer movie. I thought he played in that too. I mean, he is definitely post Iron Man, gotten into some really good gigs and showing off his acting chops. So good for him, because he does come from a lineage of great acting, right? I mean,
does he?
Yeah, I mean, he's always been good. I think he was more known for his troubled youth, going to jail, right? He did that.
Oh yeah, I think I heard about that. Yeah,
It was a party animal, like a lot of Hollywood people. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, one life to live, guys. One life to live.
Exactly. I mean, now it's like he's up in the hills of Malibu. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, the podcast. I think the format. I'm really digging the format and the YouTube focus. I mean, I did promo the Spotify again, and we're seeing some increased viewership there, which is good.
Yeah, how are the analytics on podcast
It's
and
better.
Spotify?
It's gotten better with more recent episodes and the new editing setup, and so I think so. It's going. It's going.
I'm just getting too used to asking you for VOs. Now it's going to be like, hey, make a VO for my life when I'm trying to wake up. Tuesday mornings, Sura
It's
Hadi.
Tuesday. It's time to do something different. Why do the same thing? Get out of bed and go do something new.
Do you like my last edit where I was like, Mike Ouren, available for VO work?
Yeah, well, I'm always a fan of getting our friend over here involved so he can play nice with our other guy. Do a little VO. Nice night for a walk. I've been hearing a lot of Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Earl James, no, Earl, what is the name of Darth
James Earl
Vader?
Jones.
James Earl Jones, got nothing on you.
Oh, I think he's. Yeah, that was some pretty epic VO. I was trying to do a Morgan Freeman recently too.
Do it! Or do, who's the one that says Samuel L. Jackson? Snakes, there's snakes on this. That's a lot of curse words, which I can totally go to town on, but that'll give us a different rating. But
We're
you should do
we're
that one.
Yeah, if I do Samuel L. Jackson, we are going to be recategorized on. I think the best ones to do for this podcast would be like Avengers lines, but I mean, I don't know. He was Nick Fury. I mean, Nick Fury's a different character. That was probably one of his more calm sounding characters.
I was gonna say, I don't feel like Nick Fury like did him justice. Like he could be, you know?
Yeah. He definitely had the cool factor. I remember the Nick Fury from the comic books. He was like the leather, that long coat, the guns and just like always ahead of the game. He's always one step ahead of the game. I
But you
thought he
got
projected
Samuel L.
that well.
Jackson. Like I feel like they should have written more lines for him, or you know?
Yeah, well, it's probably the guys at Disney are like, I don't know. I don't know if we can go there.
Gotta curtail him.
I think if they did Deadpool before they did Avengers, the door might have been more open,
Yeah.
because I think that was quite a negotiation for Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds, because Ryan Reynolds is the producer of that. He was heavily involved in the
Oh
creation
yeah.
of Deadpool.
Yeah. He's super involved in his projects.
Yeah, he gets very involved, and he had to get really involved in that one to get it, out of. Also, well, get rights to the properties because they needed, they need certain things to be able to work with, everybody, right? To make it feel right. And so there's some sort of alluding to Avengers, but then there's the Wolverine thing, and yeah, bringing that all together. And
all that while buying a soccer team and having another hit show around that.
running a mobile telephone service and, doing ads for that.
And getting, what's his name? Magic Mike. What's his name? To do a commercial with your soccer team. That was awesome.
Right. Yeah, he's kind of like, I hate to say this, but he's sort of like a Taylor Swift in terms of like he can pick up the phone and like, call in a favor from another star or something.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sure, I'll do it.
He's a connector.
Right. That's what I like Seth Green, when I mentioned Seth Green about Robot Chicken. I mean, again, this is a little thing, but he did a, kind of call out. He's like, he got Leonard Nimoy on there. He got Morgan Freeman. He got Mark Hamill, all these like real actors to do the VO for these characters. It was like,
I think every group needs a connector. Like I keep bringing people that I know on the show.
Yeah, we're connectors. We aspire to be the connectors.
We're extroverted introverts.
See, this is where our helical brew is starting to mean more. It's starting to get deeper. It's a deeper track,
It's funny because we've never explained our logo. I wonder if people know this is what DNA looks like.
Yeah, flattened DNA, basically. If you're just to take one plane of a DNA strand, and then there you go. This is what you get. Yeah.
We're nerds. You knew it, though.
Helical Brew. Yeah, because it seems like YouTube is becoming more and more of a play. It's like Facebook is trying to be more like YouTube, and YouTube's trying to be more like Facebook because they're adding more social features within YouTube. It's not full on Facebook, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it seems like all the platforms are trying to take the best elements of each other now. I mean, they've been doing
Yeah.
this for a while, but I mean, it's getting
Even
to be,
Instagram, right? When I look at like ways
yeah,
to increase viewership, they're like, okay, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, because they're all kind of similar. Like you said, the shorts are looking like TikTok, which are looking like Instagram. But yeah, the X-ray diffraction image of DNA, 1953 in the Journal of Nature.
wow, that's cool. 1953. I mean,
Yeah, can you imagine taking an X-ray of DNA in 1953?
the technology available at the time to magnify that. Wow, amazing. So, how are you liking your Mac so far?
Still like it. It's interesting how like I don't have to think about it, you know? The Mac Mini, everything, you don't even think about it. It just works.
Yeah, this is the first computer I have to say that out of all the computers I've owned, they've all been iMacs mostly, the ones I have on the desktop. I'm one of those like desktop types. Like I've always had a desktop, and yeah, I have a laptop as well. But there's just something about when you come home and you sit down and using a desktop. It's like there's no opening the thing. It's like got a little bit of your personality on it, right? It's like your setup. It doesn't move,
Yep.
and
It is
the
nice, yeah.
the iMacs I've had over the years, I mean, they've been pretty good computers, but I always had like just issues with, the fan or it getting loud, things like that. I gotta say, it's the first computer where every time I walk up to it, the screen is black, the screensaver has already shut everything down. I just take my finger and put it on that reader, the fingerprint reader, and this thing just goes like within less than a second, poof, everything's back to normal. There's no like waiting for it to grind and log back in or unlock the screen. Because my last computer, I literally wanted to throw it out the window. It was getting so
That is
obnoxious.
true. I am not frustrated at all, I find,
Yes,
which
like
is
it's
a new
always ahead of me.
feeling.
Yes, I always feel like I'm ahead of the computer, and this time the computer is ahead of me. I'm like, awesome, please. And I've got the dual, the Windows parallels
Hmm.
option.
Hmm.
That is on my second screen, and it goes from Windows to start menu ready. I click on the icon within like 3 seconds. It's booting in a whole other operating system in 3 seconds. I'm like,
Nice.
game on.
So there's definitely different camps of people, right? There's people that, like me, have a curved monitor, and people like you that have two monitors. How are you feeling about that? Because I feel like I would really bemoan the loss of the middle space, you know?
Well, it is, yeah, the only thing I'm not a huge fan of. So I'm looking straight at the camera, straight at you. But this is on a monitor that is at a 25-degree angle to the other monitor. So when I do this, I'm now looking perpendicular to the plane of the other monitor. So sometimes I have stuff on here. I feel like with the curved monitor, like I can see your eye movements during the show, right? You're able to kind of keep your head in the
Yeah.
zone. And I think the curved monitor is helping you out with that. Am I wrong?
No,
I
no,
feel
you're
like
right. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel like you can kind of, whereas me, I've got this discrete screen that's got the other stuff on it. If it's, I mean, so I try to like compress our show all the way to the left, and then I'll put the show notes on the right of the
Hmm.
same screen. So I don't really using this screen. It's not as convenient. So I think you've got this curved screen. I've thought about that would be, I think, better, and because you and I both have OCD. But like
What?
I would rather
What are you talking about?
I would rather be perpendicular to the desk.
I don't spend 10 minutes before the show getting my camera
Oh,
angle
you
right.
rearrange the desk like deck chairs. Come on.
You
And
know what
so
I found
and
though?
so do I. So do I. I know.
I found recently on Riverside, you can pull it up so that, like, in front of the monitor, like where I'm looking at you right now, you can have the what they call script. But then you don't
Okay.
actually see people, you see words like in front of people. So
Oh,
sometimes it's distracting, but I feel like if you get used to it, it might not be distracting. So if you ever wanted to do that, you can actually put the show notes right in front of the guests.
so I'm clicking the script mode, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool. Huh. Learn something every day. Yeah, so that the curved monitor I think is a good thing. I don't know. So I mean my brother had one. I mean I guess I could get one on this desk. I'd have to rearrange everything, but it would be. Is yours like 4K or what do they call that? 1440
Or yeah, the 4K.
high frame rate? Is it like 120, 240?
Yeah, but I got it like during COVID, so it's probably outdated now. There's probably
Okay.
better versions of it.
Yeah. I mean, it looked pretty sweet. It covers your whole desk practically. So you've got.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I just bought this monitor, so it's going to be a while before I
Yeah. And it's working
mold
for
these
you. I was
monitors
just
into one.
curious because there's definitely people that like two monitors and people that like curved monitors. Because two monitors, like at work, right? I've seen people have like papers on one and they're actually working on the other one. So there's one in like landscape mode and one in portrait mode.
Oh yeah, especially documentation folks. If you're doing a lot of typing,
Hmm.
yeah, they like to have everything long ways, or go to any newsroom. Like you go into a newspaper or magazine company. Yeah, everybody's got their monitors up on end like that. Yeah. Well, I think the dual monitor thing is, I I was an early adopter and I didn't really like it that much because the operating systems didn't do a very good job of dealing with the second monitor. Now I
100%.
feel
Yeah.
like they now have a lot of tools around second monitors. So you like even when I click over here, it'll have a relevant top menu for each monitor for whatever's on that screen. So they really behave like two different computers. And I think
Yeah.
that's
Which is what we were hoping for when it first came out and it took a while for the vendors to figure it out.
exactly. And I'm a big iPad user. I use iPads traveling all the time. I can travel without my regular computer, in fact.
Same. Yeah.
And I just wish they would come up with a better dual screen option like they have on the Mac, but it's just mirroring. I don't care about mirroring. I mean, mirroring is great for doing a presentation. It's not like, because they tout that as, oh, well, you can connect your iPad to a second screen. I'm like, yeah, but it doesn't do a very good job of dealing with it.
It doesn't, yeah. Although the Mac Mini has been really great because I used to have to buy an app called Duet to use the iPad as a second screen. And so your
Right.
cursor can go from one screen to another. But now the Mac Mini just recognizes when my iPad is open and my cursor
Yeah.
automatically finds that
Isn't that
screen,
wild?
which is crazy. I was like, awesome.
It's like this whole infrastructure. Yeah, they've done a really good job of like localized connecting to devices and securely too. Like you have to be signed in to your Apple ID, and I feel like that's the most useful login I have is the Mac
Uh-huh.
login. Google's pretty good. You know, there's a lot of stuff you can use with One ID in Google, but I feel like with the Mac, it's all the devices in the house, the watch, you can see a message pop up on the TV if you want, if you
Yeah.
allow that, and that's great. I miss watching your audio is going. It's matching the vibration of your phone. I assume it's your. It's going.
I forgot to put, my apologies. I
Just
forgot to
kidding.
put focus on.
We're talking about computers and technology, and the fact that you can sit there and click "Do Not Disturb" on your Mac, and every device you own will follow suit is pretty cool.
So cool. So
That's
cool.
pretty bomb. I think.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty.
And
cool.
now my phone, because I don't know about you, but I take it to bed and I'll like read and pass out. It puts itself to sleep. I'll wake up and
Yes.
it had turned on sleep mode. I was like, whoa, how
No
did you know I was
dinging or
sleeping?
buzzing or anything
Yeah.
like that. It just, yeah. And that makes a huge difference. The fact that that thing didn't go off once during the night. And it has the emergency mode. If the person calls 3 times in a row, rapid succession, it will ring.
Which is terrible because my sister has this habit that if you don't pick up, she'll just keep calling you.
Oh, well. There's nothing can deal
I
with
pick up for a
no
reason.
algorithm. No algorithm can fix that.
No algorithm can fix a little sister.
No algorithm can fix a little sister.
I'm like, I'm sending you to voicemail for a reason.
Well, I call back because I got sent to voicemail. That would be the
Immediately.
logic, right?
An
That would be
immediate callback.
that would be the logic given back. Like the response would be, well, how do you respond to that? How do you even?
But now, like, my mom is doing it. Like, my mom has learned this habit. I'm like, you guys.
Well, if you just call a couple more times,
Yeah.
they'll
So I
ring.
took them off of favorites because, you know, it does that if you have them in
Favorites.
favorites, right? So I just took them off because I'm like, okay, that way they'll actually be.
The Hadi battle royale of phone calling. Yeah.
But they don't watch the show, so they won't know that I'm complaining about them.
Yeah. They know anyway. It's like,
Well, I think they tried to watch the show, and I got the I don't even know what you guys are talking
what are you
about
talking about?
comment. Yeah.
I'm not sure what you're talking about. Picks of the week.
Mm-hmm.
I have a pick of the week.
Do I have one? I don't have one.
Oh, it's okay.
Surprise!
Shocking. Well, And in the spirit of the new F1 game coming out on PlayStation 5,
Ooh.
I just impulse buy at Best Buy a Ferrari,
Ooh.
Lego Ferrari. Yeah, it took it took a few, couple hours to put it together. But yeah, they had a lot of these on sale for 10-15 bucks.
Oh, that's not
And
bad.
anyway, the Ferrari F40, I mean, in my opinion, one of the most legendary, if not the most legendary Ferrari. At least it's all childhood related, right? I mean, somebody who was born in the 50s might think of the GT California as
Mm.
the go-to, but for those of the poster on our walls back in the 80s was 90s was this guy right here, Ferrari F40. But Lego's
That's
been
so
doing a
funny
pretty
because
good
I was
job.
just thinking about buying a new Lego set.
Yeah, well, they've got vehicles. They've got, I mean, they've got
How
like
long did it take you to put together?
it's like 2.5 hours, something like that.
I like
Yeah,
things that take all day.
yeah. I think you go a little bit bigger if you want to do all day. Some people just like to put them down and pick them up too. The thing is, I don't like to have it temporarily occupying the table with all the parts and stuff. It's either not done or it's done.
Okay, how do you Lego build? Everyone has a way that they do it. How do you do it?
Um, I do it.
Speaking of OCD.
I do it in sections. Like there's just the sections of like this car is basically three different sections: the back, middle, and the front.
Mm. I separate all the parts so they're like parts in little bowls, and then I put them together that way.
I don't do the bowl thing, but I see where you're coming from.
With some kick-ass music in the background.
Right. I think the music is mandatory. You can't have something boring and just, like NPR or something like that. Not that NPR is boring all the time, but
But life
not.
changes when you have a kid because you can't like zone out on something for hours and just be in your own space, right? Like you would normally
Well, I mean, there's little tidbits of time where you can, couple
when they're
hours,
asleep.
right? Or their friends are over or something like that.
But now my dogs go after the pieces for some reason. They're like all
Oh
about the
yeah,
Legos.
these are not good for having pets around. This thing, yeah, the parts would have been eaten. It was a lot of fun though. I mean, as you're putting it together, you appreciate the detail on how they were able to recreate key elements of a design in Lego. I think that's the most interesting part for me about Lego is that they're visually this needs to be convincing, but it's in Lego. So how do you do that? And there's some masterminds behind that.
Yeah, those design engineers are awesome. Have you seen, I saw on somewhere, some platform, like houses now? Like somebody put together this idea of building a house like Legos. So they sold
Wow.
like these pieces and people are just taking them and like putting them on to build houses. It was crazy. Because then you can
Wow.
reconfigure bedrooms by yourself. Like you don't technically need like a builder.
Yeah, building. I mean, Legos. They just did a recent thing on the Formula One where each team got a Lego car, and both drivers from each team drove around the track, and some of them were like crashing into each other, peeling pieces off the car. I'm like a bunch of kids.
That's cute.
Give those guys anything, they'll destroy it, except for their car that they race.
So you travel a lot for work. Do you ever like travel for personal?
Yeah, I mean the last like big trip I went on was to Cancun. I mean, sometimes they're mixed together a little bit. I mean, I'm okay with like, if you go somewhere and you've got a weekend in between business, making the best out of the weekend, I'm good with that. But yeah, sometimes you want that dedicated trip.
But you're going like to Basel, right? Like, are you gonna go to the Swiss Alps for a little bit?
Yeah, you can kind of pass through the Swiss Alps on your way to customer sites. So you can have
Yeah, I'm
over
I'm
the
an
years.
adventure traveler, so I'm just wondering if you're gonna do any like mountaineering or hiking or, you know.
No, probably not any mountaineering. I mean, there are some good sites. I might go up on one of the lifts, like oh, what's the one in Alpnach? I can't think of the name of it. Anyway, you can go get a lot of vertical very quickly on the lift just to go
Do
up
you
there.
rock climb at all?
No, I'm not. It's not my jam.
We gotta get you into my kind of travel. Mike.
Yeah, it sounds like we probably in like Central America or South America or somewhere,
You can find something fun
base
to
jumping
do.
or something.
Yeah, I'm kind of an adrenaline junkie.
So tell me, are you like, how often do you go to like a skate park and stuff?
3, 4 times a week, depending on the
Okay.
schedule. But I always have my skateboard in the car, so even if my daughter's got activities, I'm usually skating outside.
Okay. That's cool. Yeah. Because I mean, yeah, skateboard, that's an adrenaline thing. I used to live next to a skate park in California, and I'd walk by there because I go to the basketball court, just shoot hoops.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, I like
there's
basketball
some
too.
people, yeah, it's definitely, it's definitely fun. It's just not my,
I try to keep stuff in the car. That way, like, I make use of every window of time that I have, you know? Because,
right.
once you get home and you get comfortable, it's hard, right? But, like, last night we were watching The Walking Dead. And after an episode, I just took the skateboard outside and was skateboarding in my backyard with my daughter and the dog. So it was fun.
Oh, wow. It's a pickup game, right?
Yeah,
Or,
yeah.
a pickup activity. It's like in
But I want to
basketball.
get like dive certified because I want to go diving. I've been watching, my daughter likes horror movies, and we've been watching these really bad shark movies.
Oh, gosh.
Really bad, but
A lot
like it
of,
made me want to go diving.
so many latex sharks have been created
Or like the
in
cage
movie history.
falls to the bottom of the ocean, and I'm just like, oh, I should go cage diving.
Cage diving, yeah. The video footage is amazing that I've seen from that. Yeah, well, I mean, dive certification, place like San Diego should be
Mhm.
pretty easy. Lots of places to get it done, right?
We should do a Helical Brew podcast from like a crazy vacation like that. Like meet at an island and do some crazy stuff.
Oh, we should meet on the road more often, I think, because we had, I mean, look, that SLAS episode was pretty epic, and
And we're gonna
we
do
can do that
something in
again.
Hamburg, right? I think I told you and Elizabeth to try to get as much footage as possible so we can edit it together.
Yeah, and just getting some footage from the floor. I've got my selfie stick, so I can prop the camera up on the end of that and just do a
Be on the lookout for an 8-foot man with a selfie stick.
8 foot, yeah.
I mean, compared to me, you're so tall.
Not a, hello. Hi.
Hello down
Yeah, that was funny. Yeah, you could see our heights in our group shot. That's right. Elizabeth's like 5 foot.
Yeah, yeah. I always forget that I'm taller than her until I see her.
Yeah, yeah. Life on the other side, hitting my head on things, trying to keep the now. You know what? In flying, it used to be not that big of a deal for the overhead bins because they would just go open like that and clear the area where people's heads are. Now they come down. Oh,
Oh,
so
right. Yeah,
so they
why
have
do
more.
they come down?
They can fit
Oh,
more.
probably so that they don't hurt people, right?
Well, that and also they can fit more because they're able to
I
more
like
efficiently
them when
use the
they were
volume.
going up. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. I liked him when there was no door at all, which
I don't think I
actually,
ever flew with no door.
no, probably not. I was on one plane that had no door,
Why
so there
can't
were
they
just little
just do those
shelves.
little like mesh strings like you have in the back of your trunk?
That's what they used to do, pretty much. Yeah,
Yeah,
they
like
just
why
had
can't they
like
do
little,
that?
yeah, like or like on a bus. When you get on like a bus that have a little space up there where it's just mesh. No, it makes
I
sense they
didn't
put a
think about
door on.
that, but yeah, that would suck because you would hit your
Oh,
head.
yeah, that's like if one of those things is down, you're like, where else do I go? But
We should do an episode of like life from a tall person's perspective and then just show you running into things around town.
it's this sort of like craning view,
We'll put a GoPro right here and then it'll be like,
and then you see that, hey, what's up?
ah, it's so hard falling in love with the puppies and not being able to do anything about like not wanting to leave them.
Well, because if you leave anyway, like you've got there's a pet pet hotel or something that you send
Yeah,
them
but
to?
it's like gonna be so expensive for 3 dogs.
Oh yeah, I bet. And the cat just kind of hangs out, feeds
Oh
itself.
yeah, she's automatic feeder. She's all set.
Okay.
She loves it when we leave her and she's in charge.
Good. Get out of the house. Get out of my place.
Get out.
Go do your business. Well, this episode of Helical Brew is brought to you by absolutely no one except Sura and I having a blast here on Saturday morning without enough coffee. So thank you for joining us for this episode, and we'll see you next time. Oh, the Helical Brew.
TikTok.com.
Word.
Thank you for joining us on the Helical Brew. We're glad to have you with us. For more episodes, please visit our website at helicalbrew.com. That's helicalbrew.com.
I was like, oh, where's everybody?
Just on time. That's all, sir.
You usually start at 45. Shush.
By the way, we got that on recording, so use that. Where is everybody? Oh, just on time.
BTS for the episode. Love it. Oh.